Greetings, welcome. How the devil are you, person of the internet thing, whatever? Yes, I did promise I would be back weekly. Now I'm feeling a little bit better, and I'm back weekly because I'm feeling a bit better. And you may have noticed the observant amongst you who've been here before has slightly different colour hair now. I used to be a big fan of the bleach bottle back in the 80s and 90s, and then stopped as I got fat, old, and ugly. And I always promised myself if I lost enough weight, I'd do something daft. So I've done the tattoo thing. So both of my tattoos are now done, and they're looking pretty damn gorgeous. And I thought I'd do the bleach for a while, although it is addictive, so it might last a bit longer than a while. Anyway, who cares? Recipes. This week it's a Latin American dish, a picadillo. It's a bit like a chili, only there's slightly more spices in it, slightly more bits and pieces in it anyway. And towards the end you add raisins and olives. So it's got a juicy dish. It's not like a chili sometimes, which can be quite heavy with the kidney beans. This is more juicy. And it's really good. It's really nice to make. And what I've done is allowed for a beef or a vegan version. The one I'm cooking is a vegan version, but I have added a couple of notes in there to say if you're doing it with beef, which is a traditional way of doing it, do this now and take this long. And it'll be in the comments section, the description field, where I've got the ingredients and things like that anyway. So let's get on with it. This is really, really nice. Right, back to the gourd of goodness this week, or the board of goodness, not the gourd of goodness. Here we go. Anyway, there's the board. What we're going with: 2 onions, 1 pepper of your choice. I've gone with the green pepper. You can use yellow or red; they're a little bit sweeter. 600 grams of corn. So if you're doing the beef version of this, I would go with slightly more. I would have 800 grams of a beef mince, but I'm going with 600 grams of corn today. So this is vegan today. You'll probably want to do it beef if you're not a vegan type person. Where are we? 75 grams of raisins, about 100 grams or so of your choice of olives, 1 stock cube of your choice beef if you're going to use beef, vegetable if you're going to be vegan, 2 tins of tomatoes, chopped tomatoes that is, and then a teaspoon of, where are we, round the thing, so cinnamon, I think that is, paprika, cumin, salt, cloves, powdered cloves rather than whole ones. What's that over there? Oh, chili flakes, oregano, can't remember. Oh, well, that's the cinnamon, isn't it? Yeah. Right, 4 cloves of garlic. Did I say garlic? Some fresh coriander for right at the end. I think that's everything. Let's just get on with it. I'm going to serve it with some rice. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. So we begin, as we often do, with the ceremonial frying of the onions. The onions being the base for so many things and sauces and stuff. I think I've got 2 big onions in there. I would, if I were you, go with 2 small onions. So I'm going to cook this for a little bit longer than you're going to. So we will say 10 minutes for 2 small onions. Off we go. So 10 minutes, we're only going lightly brown this time. And I'm going to pop in our pepper and go another 2 or 3 minutes. So the pepper has nicely softened. We go in with our garlic. Always the last in the frying stage, garlic, because it burns and it tastes really bloody horrible when it burns. So we'll give that a minute or 2. So I'm going to turn the heat down quite a bit because it's been on medium high. We're going to have medium low now. And I'm going to bring the plate of spices and salt. Start stirring that in. I have a cup of water to one side because this will start to burn quickly as soon as you put it in. In fact, there it is, already sticking to the bottom of the pan. That's better. Just to loosen it up a little bit so it doesn't burn. You do want to fry the spices rather than boil them, but depends on your pan and how non-stick it is. This isn't a particularly non-stick pan. If it was more non-stick, I would have less water, but it's not. I think I'm going to get another one of these. This is a really cheap, crappy wok thing. I used to have one of those stone ones, which was really good, but even that sort of the coating died after a while. So anyway, la 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 la. Spices nicely stirred in. Oh, the smell that's coming off there. There's quite a few spices in there, quite a few herbs and spices. And it smells amazing. So, yes, unfortunately I did slightly boil the spices rather than fry the spices, but again, I'm blaming the pan this time. Da da da. And tomato time. And I shall wash the tins out with some water. So I would, if I was doing the beef version of this, add the beef in now so it fries. Because I'm doing the corn version, and corn cooks more quickly and is in danger of dissolving if you cook it for too long, I'm doing it this way. So tomatoes now for corn, tomatoes later for beef. So fry the beef and then add the tomatoes. So it's just a reverse order. So I'm going to cook these tomatoes for about 10 to 15 minutes to make that really nice and rich. Back in a bit. Did I say I was going to add the stock cube in? I've added the stock cube in. Just add the stock cube in. Oh, there we go. Looking really good after, what did I say, about 15 minutes. Ooh, let's drop the bag in as well. Right, anyway, I'm going to go with my corn. If you are cooking beef, you will already have been cooking the beef. And this will be the point where you add your tomatoes. So, yeah, opposite way round. Beef will already be cooked. Now add tomatoes. This is not beef, this is corn. So the tomatoes are done. Nice rich sauce. Add the corn. And this will be cooking for about 10 or 15 minutes as well. And see how much or how well the corn takes on the flavour of the sauce. So I was going to whiz the sauce up, but actually I'm kind of liking it with chunkiness. So yeah, right, 10-15 minutes with the corn. Oh, that's starting to look good. Let's have a little taste. Yes. See, the problem always been with corn is it will absorb whatever you give it to absorb, which means if you don't make the sauce good enough, it just ends up being a sort of sawdusty mess. I'm not the biggest fan of corn, but when you do it well and have a good sauce to support it, it really works. So we're in the final 5 minutes, popping in our raisins and about 100 grams of olives, in which case green. You can use black if you so wish. So we're going to have 5 minutes and then it'll be ready. Ba 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 ba. And that is about it. I'm going to sprinkle some fresh coriander and I'm going to stir that in, leave it for a couple of minutes. Then I'm going to serve it over some white rice and I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit more coriander just to sort of garnish it right at the end. This is going to taste great tomorrow when all the flavours really sink in. Tastes pretty good now, but tomorrow, yes. Anyway, that'll do for today. Thank you very much for watching. Next time,